Alright, broken engine mount bolts. Okay, I'm just going to go over where this problem usually happens. I've had this happen twice on this motor. These things run really good. It's been decent, except for the fact that this right mount, where this goes to the down tube, has busted twice now, and I've had to put an easy out in it. I was going to show you this easy out and the bolt that there it is under here. Okay, here is the bolt. Actually, it's a threaded bolt, and I went and got a threaded bolt from the hardware store that's better quality steel than what came with the bike. And this is the mount here, that goes to the down tube. So anyway, this busted off flush right here just from a vibration and the torque that's created from the main drive gear here to the drive chain that goes to the rear sprocket that you install on the back wheel. Well, there's a constant, torquing to the left, torquing to the left, torquing to the left, and it tends to put a lot of tensile stress on this right mount bolt, and so it busted off flush. So when that happens, you got to go. I mean, this is a pretty exacting spot that you're in here as far as fixing it, because you've got to take a drill, okay, and the right size drill bit, drill as perfectly as you can into the center of this bolt. If it'll focus there, you can see I'm not even centered perfectly as far as drilling a hole in that bolt. So you drill that, and then you take, now here are bigger extractors. Mine was a very small size just to fit down in the center of that threaded bolt. These are bigger screw extractors, and these kits are like maybe $10 at Harbor Freight, not even $10. Pretty good deal. I've done a lot of these over the years, but until just here recently, I've needed them because of this situation. So you can get this extractor set and take it out. You got to drill perfectly down the center of that thread, or perfectly down the center of that threaded bolt, and then you can take your screw extractor, tap it down in the middle of it, make sure it's the right size, and it's got to grip enough of that internal hole that you just drilled. It's got to get down deep enough in there so it'll grab. And once these things, see how they're designed, once they go in, they thread in, they tighten. They're left-hand threads. They're it's like a helical thread, sharp thread that grabs on the internal diameter of that hole you just drilled, and as you turn it to the left, it tightens inside of the hole and it backs out. It'll back that screw out, and I just got pretty lucky with taking this one out. It worked really good. It came right out. It's the second time. I've done a lot of these, so this does take a little skill to drill that hole. What's critical is drilling that hole perfectly in the center of that threaded bolt that is sheared off right here, flush with the engine casing. All right, get it perfectly centered. All right, and get down as deep as you can so that that screw extractor has enough bite, and you can back that screw all the way out. And also use a decent penetrating oil as you are before you get started. Let it soak in there, because when you reinstall this thing, you definitely ought to use the at least the blue type of Loctite, the blue stuff on those threads to keep it in there. If you use the red and this happens again and you go to extract this bolt, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult to get out. So anyway, keep that in mind. Now, once I put a new threaded bolt in here, all right, and we're going to have two new ones sticking out there. This left one was fine, but once I get the two back in there and I go to mount it to the engine, one of the things that I'm going to do to kind of fight against that torquing and that pulling motion whenever this drive chain starts driving the rear wheel there, and it's torquing like this, I'm going to put some type of metal strap around the pipe to the bike frame, and it's going to minimize that torquing action that happens when you go give this thing throttle and you're driving the rear wheel. So hopefully that will take some of the tensile stresses off of this bolt. That will basically, when you torque on this, it's trying to pull this bolt apart and off of the down tube mount. So anyway, I'll let you take a look when I'm done doing that, but hope that helps.